Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi. I am Siti Nurashafika binti Muhammad Sofi and I will present the introduction. Okay, food fraud is the act of purposely altering, mispresenting, mislabeling, substitute or tampering with any food product at any point along the farm to table food supply chain. Fraud can occur in the raw material, in an ingredient, in the final product, or in the food packaging.
Fraud can occur in the raw material, in an ingredient, in the final product, or in the food packaging. From fake egg to fake rice, food fraud is not only happening in Malaysia, but it has become a bigger global problem undeniably. Recent food fraud incidents have increased the need to protect consumers by strengthening the food industry ability to detect and fight fraud across supply chain. Recent food fraud incidents such as meat being passed off as minced beef in Europe and melamine being added to dairy products in China have increased the urgency for the food industry to take action. Okay, for the frog egg were known as fake egg. Nowadays, a lot of fake eggs are marketed in market that are also in our country, Malaysia. As we know that the fake egg is being as a trend in the market of Malaysia. The yolk of the fake egg was more yellowish, adding that there were no sign of shellage, which was the opaque root of egg white holding the yolk. It was also reported by the CFP that when the egg was broken, real egg smelled like raw meat, where the fake one has no smell. In a video that went viral on social media that happened, a woman had boiled the egg. She bought only to find the texture on the yolk was rubbery. The fake egg most likely originated from China. For another characteristic of fake egg is that when it is shaken, there will be the sound of liquid because the water inside does not get together with the solidifying agent. The Health Ministry mentioned in a statement released 2 days ago, the fake egg shells were made of chemicals such as calcium carbonate, while the egg yolk and white were made of sodium alginate, gelatin, benzoic acid, calcium chloride, water, other chemical components similar to what had been discussed online.
So now we go to statistics of fake eggs. According to Japrakash, Shiv and Jessica, 2019, China is the main maker and consumer of eggs in the world with 529 billion eggs created per annum, which is ruled by the United States, which is 107 billion eggs. Besides hens, ducks, quail are the other birds that are good sources of eggs. Third, the overall percentage is less. The per capita utilization of eggs is relentlessly ascending in both this country, different other of the world. Follow Your Heart 2050 stated introduced the first fake eggs to the market in the forms of a powder Asia-based egg substitutes. Then an Amman company or startup came out with their vision of fake eggs. Spiro, a Silicon Valley startup, is making eggs using pumpkin seeds. Clara Foods and Just Egg are the second startup companies. The company produces egg white from yeast by inserting egg white protein genes into the yeast cell and allowing the yeast to grow using sugar. Just Egg, another Silicon Valley startup founded by Josh Tetry, is processing egg white using mung bean proteins. The company is planning to launch in China. Products of this company are now available on the shelves of the major supermarkets in the United States, just as Surface and Hibiscus. People in the United States and China have been eating egg from hens for generations, and all of a sudden they now have an option to eat surprisingly vegan eggs. People will have genuine concerns regarding taste, nutritional value, quality, and possible hazard associated with these eggs. This vegan egg may replace conventional egg in bakeries if there is change in the taste of the final product drastically. The other possible target segment for these artificial eggs could be the consumer who consume it mainly as a source of food and not for the taste. According to the Gallup survey, 3% of the Americans identify themselves as vegan and 5% of the Americans are vegetarians, while 11% of the liberals are vegetarian and 5% of these are vegans. The vegan and vegetarian might also be willing to pay a premium for these eggs, and companies may not have to compete with conventional eggs on the pricing front if they target and market only to vegan initially. The market for vegan products in China is seen to be growing at a CAGR of 17.2% on 2015 to 2020, whereas growth during the same period in the United Arab Emirates and Australia is expected to be 10% and 9% respectively. Most of the companies that have ventured into plant-based egg production are currently based out of the United States. Conclusion: the most suitable market for the company can be India, which is the third largest producer of egg and also have the highest vegetarian population in the world.
My name is Aisha Waila binti Safri. Next, I presented about the analysis on hazard. A definition for hazard analysis is the process of collecting and evaluating information on hazard and the conditions leading to their presence to determine which hazards are significant for food safety and therefore should be addressed in a hazard plan or food safety plan (FSP). According to the article, artificial and fake eggs, they are saying that artificial eggs are full of chemicals, additives, and auxiliary agents and made by using various types of raw materials, color, and flavor. So the fake egg contain no nutritional values compared to the real eggs. It is because the original eggs are provided about 6 grams of protein. Whole of this protein is in the egg white, and the most of the nutrients in it are found in the yolk. Next, a few ingredients or chemicals are used, but almost the entire use of this substance on the fake eggs. It is because the fake eggs are not to be able to bring nutrients or goodness to humans like natural eggs, but instead can cause disease and harm to humans. It is because they want to get a profit. These ingredients are widely used and often as if they were ordinary eggs, are making it difficult to identify with the naked eyes. Then, these products are of particular importance in countries like UK, Europe, and others. But sometimes calcium carbide is used in the formulation of fake eggs. The calcium carbide, which is hazard when ingested, and it has skin irritants and even toxic to lungs and mucous membranes. This is harmful of effect artificial eggs for humans. the ingredients of artificial eggs. Based on the website of the Star Online, the Health Minister of Malaysia mentioned in the statement that fake eggshell were made of the sodium alanine, glutathione, alum, benzenium acid, calcium chloride, water, and other chemical components similar to what had been discussed online. Among the countries that process the most of fake eggs from the China.
Now, moving to the effect of fake egg, there was conception that egg may increase bad cholesterol, but new modern eating say it does not have a negative impact on cholesterol. By eating healthy eggs, you may be able to prevent breast cancer, blood clot, stroke, and heart attacks. In spite of this, you may have healthy hair, nails, or etc. But the fake eggs is very harmful for human beings. Artificial eggs are dangerous for human beings because it consists of different types of chemicals. There are compounds like gluconate, benzoic acid, calcium chloride, sucralose, amino acid, and others were combined. Our metabolism factor can be disordered by gluconate, amino acid, and cellulose. Benzoic acid may harmful to brain, nerve, and may cause liver disease.
Okay, the ability of product same block, food colors are very bad for the liver. It can also damage the liver, blood pressure start increased by the sodium alginate, and it may also cause heart attack. Your kidney can also be damaged by the gelatin, which is used to make the fake egg. Artificial egg has a little or no nutrition. Artificial or fake eggs have an unusual shape and do not smell or taste like real ones. Hence, the material required to produce artificial eggs were cheap. In UK, additives have an acceptable daily intake value (IDA), which is used as security value for human intake without health risk. This states that eggshells should be marked in a indelible color resistant to boiling. The product used must comply with the provision in force in respect of calorimeters that may be used in foodstuffs instead for human consumption. For example, erythrocyan, which appear to be the color most commonly used for this purpose, continue to be permitted. Consumers as well as professional food handlers may be following the safe procedure when handling and preparing eggs and food containing eggs. These procedures are of particular importance in countries UK, Europe, and etc., where there are cases of egg-borne salmonella caused by Enteritis. Sometimes calcium carbonate is used in formulation of fake eggs. The calcium carbonate, which is hazard when inhaled, skin irritated, and even toxic to lungs and mucous membranes. Repeat and prolonged inhalation may damage certain organs. It produces azoxystrobin and calcium hydroxide will prevent moisture contact. Azoxystrobin, a flammable gas, might contain the toxic impurity of phosphine and arsenic. Calcium hydroxide is irritating to respiratory system, to skin, and risk serious damage to eyes. The use of sodium benzoate forms carcinogen benzene when used in combination with potassium benzoate and ascorbic acid. Combination with certain food color is known to cause hyperactive in children. The alum, which is used in medicine, but excess intake may cause irritation of mucous membrane or can be a nausea and vomit. The artificial egg may be dangerous for humans because it made of different types of chemical compounds. The composition of artificial eggs can cause following harm to humans that may describe the follower.
Food fraud not only threatens food safety, but it may also result in serious mortality and morbidity for the customer. It is critical to understand and implement safe food handling practices in order to reduce the prevalence of fake eggs in food production. The goal of food fraud prevention is to maintain consumers' trust while also maintaining fair and sustainable business practices. Here are some suggestions to prevent the food fraud, which is fake eggs. First, you must make sure all your employees attend a training and education about the food handling safety practices. Consistent training and education for employees can improve their capabilities and retain them in the use of food processing equipment and machinery. It is to continue engage employees in continuous learning experience about teamwork and also to monitor ongoing work. Its purpose is to make employees aware of the significance of their role and duty in providing safe and high-quality food. It also assists employees in identifying possible hazards that could lead to food fraud in eggs, hence ensuring the safety of eggs consumed by consumer. Moreover, the education covers all of the information on the management of foodborne hazards that are connected to all elements of the food chain produce. Also, it is an opportunity for them to gain more knowledge and experience. It is the most effective approach to prevent the spread of fake eggs while also assisting employees in gaining new skills and knowledge. Effective training and education are essential for the successful implementation of hazard plans. Next is by developing the hazard plan. The fake egg issue can be prevented by instruct all your employees to practice hazard analysis and critical control points or HACCP in completing the preparation of food products. Hazard plan is used to protect against and control critical points that can risk from high potential damage or harmful that may be affect the safety of food. It is also one of the methods for establishing a system that can aid in monitoring the critical point utilized in preparation in the food service industry. To preserve the quality of food items prior to distribution, all manufacturers were required to implement hazard plan in their operation. It is the most efficient method for managing the process of running a food service business. The hazard plan includes 7 principles, and all of the 7 principles in hazard plan should be followed by all the manufacturers that will facilitate the effectiveness of evaluation and application of hazard plan in operation. It should be applied properly for every aspect of the food service industry under a deliberation. Lastly is documenting and traceability. This method can help to prevent food fraud of fake eggs by providing a documentation for traceability. It can be used to track and trace the packaging procedures or egg product. It is to identify and validate the integrity and authenticity of the egg in order to ensure that the egg is safe to consume by the consumer in attempt to lessen any harm that may impact the consumer health. Its purpose is to track the material and ingredient utilized, which may include chemical, physical, and biological hazards that have the highest potential to contaminate the egg. To perform the vulnerability assessment in egg production, the manufacturer should consider a food defense plan that shows the entire food supply chain, including access, alert, and audit. Besides, you also can organize a prerequisite program. This program provides the basic environmental and operating conditions that needed for every production safety and food product. Recognition and practice are consisting of local, state, and federal regulation and guideline use. It is also concerned to ensure that foods are suitable and safe to be consumed by the consumers. Next, we will proceed to the recommendation. To avoid from buying and consuming the fake or counterfeit eggs, the consumer can check or testing the eggs before buying it. Thus, the consumer must know how to differentiate between the real or fake eggs. First, the consumer can check the eggs by touching the shell. As we know, the fake eggs have slightly shinier, harder, and rougher shell than the real eggs. They also usually weigh larger than the real ones. If the shell seems fine, then try to pay attention to the yolk. If it is too yellow, the eggs may be fake. Lastly, the fake eggs also does not attract insects such as ant, fly, and other compared with the real. Therefore, I suggest that the consumer can try to check the appearance or testing the eggs before buying or consume it, so we can avoid from buying the fake eggs. Another recommendation is by taking a look on how they store the eggs before buying it. It is very important because the quality and the appearance of the egg mostly depend on the way they are stored and for how long they are stored. Egg quality is best maintained when they are stored in cool temperature, which is preferably inside refrigerator. By store in the cool temperature, we can consume the egg within a period of 2 to 3 days. But when we keep in room temperature, several changes take place in an egg that bring about differences in the smell, texture, and appearance of the egg. Thus, I suggest the consumer needs to take a look on how they store the eggs before buying it, so that we can avoid from buying not a fresh egg. In a nutshell, eggs are very good sources of inexpensive and high quality protein. It is also a rich sources of selenium, vitamin D, B6, B12, and minerals such as copper, zinc, and others. But since there are people who make fake eggs, a lot of consumers have been proud and buying fake eggs, which are very harmful to our health. The chemical constituents in the fake eggs can harmful to the brain's nerve cell, increase blood pressure, and other chronic disease. Thus, there should be given an awareness about the effects of consuming the fake eggs on the consumer or for the society. If the people are concerned about the fake egg, one day our country will be free from this issue, which is a good thing since fake eggs are typically bad for our human body.
Bye bye.
Bye.